Hello everyone, we are going to be going back to the roots today. We are going to be building just a small little house here while I talk about a few things and the build process. Let's go. As you can see, I have a little bit of the base foundation laid out here. We're going to do a small little cottagey, foresty type build while I, like I said, talk about a few different things. The first thing I want to kind of bring up is, as you can see, this is my old house a day challenge that I did all the way back in February, and it was definitely one of the craziest challenges that I've ever attempted, and it was the first one that I had ever tried to record and start posting on YouTube, which again, absolutely crazy. But with that said, it definitely taught me a lot of things, and I did do a video talking about what those specific things were a couple weeks ago. However, I did want to just say I genuinely don't know how to process how far I've come, at least up to this point, and I know I'm still a little bit of a new creator and things like that, but again, genuinely, I don't know quite how to process the fact that I've come from, say, like building these houses to planning out something like that. Absolutely wild. Alright, this is looking good, I like the shape. Cottagey forest vibe. How do we go about doing this? I do want to use green. I do want to keep it fairly natural. So a lot of stone, a lot of muted colors, nothing too fancy. Alright, maybe we bring this out a bit more. Yeah, that seems good. Make it a little bit bigger than just a small little one. Something that I've noticed is that building on a smaller scale actually ends up being a little harder than building on a big scale. And that is just because you have more room to like texture. Oh, I do not like that. You have more room to texture, you have more room to add different details and kind of play with the shape a little bit more. Whereas if it was smaller like this, there's only so much you can do. Let's make this 5 wide. Yeah, because then there's room for a window, but it's not too big. That way it still kind of plays into the rectangle shape, maybe. Maybe we move this over to the right one. Oh yeah, that's much better. Now we have to play with the shape a little bit more because it's getting there for sure, but it's not quite there. Maybe we make this a little bit longer to play with the rectangle shape of it more. Yeah, there we go. All right. Now we're getting somewhere. Now it's not so, I was gonna say boxy. It's definitely boxy. Oh man, we gotta get this out of its ugly phase fast. And this obviously is not gonna stay, but I wanted to try putting a little bit of a trim around here just to kind of see how that would mimic a chimney of some sort, and I don't know what I'm doing. That's awful. Okay, wait. Oh, wait. What if we put all the way around like this? That's probably not gonna stay. We're gonna set that down. We're gonna just forget about that for a second and focus on this roof part right here. Focus on the roof. All of the roofs that I've done are all kind of A-line roofs. They're all pointy, and they all go like, I don't know how to explain it, like that, if that makes sense. So for this one, I kind of want to stick it out a little bit and make it go up on a diagonal like this. And then maybe make a trim of some sort so it's not all green. I like it. I'm really trying my hardest not to go back to spruce wood because I've done so much, but I think we might just have to. I don't know how you cannot do spruce wood in a situation like this. Oh, and I'm just now realizing that that's 4 high. No! Okay, wait, so this needs to all be raised. Yeah. There we go. Someone's gonna have to tell me if this is stupid, because it's kind of feeling a little stupid. Oh no. Oh, I just realized it's uneven. Alright, let's fix the unevenness. Man, I really gotta learn some world edit. I know I said that in, like, the House a Day challenge, but it's been a hot minute, and I definitely think it's something that would benefit me if I could actually learn how to use it. There we go, now it's not in twos. Much better. Much better. Alright, now for this overhang here, I want to my idea was to mimic it a little bit so that the spruce slabs would be like underneath somehow. Kinda like that. I don't know. You gotta tell me if that's weird. I really wish that terracotta and concrete had slabs because that would literally be the perfect overhang right there. But you know what? That's not the case. So we are going to work with what we got. Oh, lovely. And I did an overhang extra there. Well, it looks like we're making another wall smaller. Ah! The amount of times that I've already changed this is insane. No way! That was actually correct. Okay, wait, give me another 2 seconds. Oh my goodness, how am I not... Well, I guess that's the learning process. Why did I get rid of... I need to regroup. I need to regroup. This needs to come back. This entire wall needs to come back. I think this weather perfectly explains how I'm feeling right now. I'll just leave it at that. How do we feel? How do we feel? Not loving it. Not completely hating it either, but again, not loving it. You know what it needs? Oh my gosh, we can put 2 chimneys. Wait, hang on. Let my brain process this for just a second. If we put an extra window type thing here, I feel like that would help the shape of it a lot, so it's not as boring. So it's not as flat, I guess. Let's do that. I hate everything. Yes, yes, progress. I wonder if I can make... Ooh, hear me out. What if I made this too high? Would that make the roof too steep? My overthinking brain is saying do it, so we're gonna listen to it this time and do it. We are going to go into editing time-lapse mode, so take it over, future Kiki. Editing, Kiki? You get the point. Let's go. It's kind of funny, actually. When I sat down to record this today, I didn't really have some, like, giant project planned out or anything. I kind of just wanted to build a house, and I haven't done that in a while, honestly. I've been doing a lot of the SMP stuff, the build battle, random projects, things like that. Just all different kinds of things. So I figured, why not just go back to some of the basics for a little bit and just build. Anyway, with that, let's get back into the next part. I feel like this roof needs to be a little different because the front needs to be angled and this one needs to come up a little bit more with the idea that I have in mind. I wonder... Oh man. I know I keep doing that, but you know what? It's fine. Everything's fine. Everything's normal. If you have made it here, congratulations, you have officially made it through me building a house for 8 minutes, and on top of that, you get to listen to me talk about who knows what. Perfect, and then this probably... Okay, I'm going to come back to this. Hopefully I remember. The base of this, I feel like needs to be bigger near the bottom, but again, I will come back to that. Hopefully I remember, but we need to figure out this side of the roof. Anyway, it's also kind of crazy to look back at the House a Day challenge because at the time I remember feeling like I wasn't improving very much, but now when I go back and look at some of those builds, I'm like, oh yeah, we've definitely come a long way. That's closer, but I want it to be a little bit more slopey, if that makes sense. So this needs to come... maybe here? No, but that's closer. Something else I've learned from making videos is that everything takes longer than you think it's going to. Ooh. I don't know what I did, and I do not think I could repeat that. But the good news is that I don't have to repeat that. Yeah. There we go. Now it actually follows whatever pattern that is. Every single time, I still convince myself that it only takes a couple hours. It does not. I've also realized that every builder has habits that they fall back on, like some certain blocks that they always use, or different roof styles, or certain shapes, and I definitely have a few of those that pop up in all the builds that I make. Some of them I don't even notice, actually, until after the build is finished. Better. Better, better. Now that we have a actual foundation for what this house is going to look like, we are going to start adding in the bigger detailing things like the windows and just some texturing, maybe some other blocks or things that make it look a little bit more cohesive. And also add a couple like pop-out windows. I think that could be fun too. Okay, so I don't know if anybody else does this, but whenever I'm building something, I always start with the plan, right? And then like 5 minutes later, that plan just completely gone, completely out the window. And I swear like half of my builds end up that way. And I tell myself, okay, we're going to build this specific thing, and then another idea pops up, and another, and another, and another, and then suddenly the entire project is just completely changing directions. I'm like, alright, well, cool. And I think honestly, that's probably why building is one of my favorite things to do in Minecraft, because there's not really a right answer. There's not anything you're supposed to do. You can have like 10 different people build the exact same house, and suddenly all 10 of those houses look completely different. But I've always thought that's kind of cool. Everybody builds a little differently and notices different details and has different favorite blocks. Even like after all of these years, people are still finding new ways to build the like crazy amount of things, which I think is kind of wild when you think about it. And Minecraft has just been around forever, and it's just somehow people are still making stuff that makes me think, wait a minute, you can do that? Like, what the heck? That's crazy. Another thing I've noticed is that building is just one of those things where you can spend, say, 20 minutes on a tiny detail that nobody would really notice, but at the same time, if you don't add that detail, everybody would notice. And I don't know why that is. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's a thing. And then suddenly the build just kind of feels weird like that or whatever, and you have to fix all of these different things. But that said, I do think that everybody has a comfort zone when building, and they fall into the same kind of patterns that I mentioned earlier. But I don't know, I guess there's always different styles that I can practice more and that everyone could practice more, not because we need to be amazing at them, but just because it's a fun thing to learn and fun new things to try out, I guess. But trust me, a lot of things can go wrong in that process. I have definitely tried, as you might have seen in the House a Day challenge back in February. But anyways, I just think that Minecraft is kind of funny like that in a weird sort of way, and sometimes the builds are amazing, sometimes they're not, but you never really know until you just start placing blocks. With that, everyone, we are going to pretty much wrap it up here for this video. I very much hope you enjoyed going a little bit back to basics, but don't worry, we will go back to our normal videos in the future. But if you did end up enjoying this one, make sure to click the video on screen, as you will absolutely love it. And thank you so much for being here. Bye!